as you know, early voting is underway in several states, including Michigan, which could become the first state to permanently get rid of a ban on abortion since the fall of Roe versus Wade, but only if enough people vote to pass the Right to Reproductive Freedom Initiative. This would ultimately remove the state's 1931 anti-abortion law off the books, making way for reproductive care to be a constitutional right. For more, let's bring in Nicole Wells Stallworth, Executive Director, Planned Parenthood Advocates of Michigan. Nicole, good to see you. Let's talk about, with the state's current law providing no exceptions for rape or incest even, could Michigan become the next Texas? Is that how you see it?
Kara, thank you for having me. And yes, I think it's important that voters understand that, this is not a one-if scenario. The United States Supreme Court reversed Roe v. Wade on June 24th of 2022. This was something that the United States Supreme Court has never done, which has gone back and reversed a right that they had previously affirmed. We also know that there is an extreme agenda to ban abortions and access to reproductive health care, things like contraception, that's going forth in all areas of the country right now. So for Michigan, we have a chance to stop that from happening. We have a law on our books that was enacted by the Michigan legislature in 1931. It criminalizes abortion, making it a felony crime for anyone to provide an abortion, punishable of up to 14 years in prison. And so this is why we need voters to vote yes on Proposal 3. It's because this is what is at stake. And we want to make sure that our voters are able to access abortion and the health care that they've been able to access for nearly 50 years now under Roe v. Wade.
So tell me what you are doing, what Planned Parenthood specifically there where you are in Michigan is fighting for the passing of Proposal 3 right now.
You know what? We're doing everything that we possibly can to talk to voters, to reach them, to help them understand what this proposal about, and that there is a very real threat that this 1931 law could become enacted. It's still on our Michigan books. It hasn't been repealed because the legislative leaders that have been in control of the House and Senate have declined to do so despite many opportunities to do that. So that law is a real threat. And with Proposal 3, this would actually provide a constitutional right for the Michigan Constitution for our citizens and residents of our great state to have access to reproductive freedom for all people. That includes access to contraception. That includes being able to make your own birthing plan. That includes the care that you get, being able to decide the care that you get before pregnancy and postpartum. And then it prevents criminalization of any of your pregnancy outcomes, including stillbirth, miscarriage, and abortion. So we're talking to voters about this every day through Canvas, through phone banks, through text messaging, through a massive mass media campaign, making sure that our commercials are up in every market and that voters understand the facts of what is at stake.
Yeah, and that's so important. I mean, information is power, right? So let's talk about what options will women in Michigan have, Nicole, if abortion becomes illegal?
Yeah, I mean, I think the reality is that you named it earlier. Michigan could become like Texas or Oklahoma, where patients are having to travel hundreds of thousands of miles to be able to get the care that they need. And I want to lift up a couple of things here that I don't know, that sometimes I think gets lost in this conversation. Pregnancies are not a one-size-fits-all scenario. Every pregnancy is different. There are all kinds of circumstances that could happen throughout a pregnancy that would require that a person needs a pregnancy. And so this 1931 law here in Michigan does not allow for exception for rape or incest. That's a big deal for people who maybe have been harmed. But I think that there are also emergency situations where doctors need to be able to act and be able to provide the best care for their patients and the best treatment for them.
Right, and we've talked a lot about that over the past couple weeks specifically. Very important to consider. And then you have this poll, Nicole, from 538. Democratic incumbent Governor Gretchen Whitmer is favored to win, as you know, Michigan's election against conservative candidate Tudor Dixon. You've been at rallies as early voting has gotten underway. What are you hearing from women particularly? And are abortion rights a big enough factor, driving factor here to get people to the polls?
Yeah, I think that they are. Abortion rights are a big enough factor to get people to the polls. I think voters are really energized around the understanding that their rights are completely at stake here. And I think as we start to think about and like just juxtapose abortion rights to the economy, for example, with all of the things that families have to deal with and consider throughout their lives and times and their families. Consider being forced to have a child or to expand your family on top of that, or to have medical bills that you were not expecting due to an unplanned pregnancy or any medical complication in a pregnancy. So voters know and understand what is at stake. They don't like having their rights taken away. And that is what they will be voting on come November 8th.
Well, let's keep the conversation going. Let's talk before then and definitely after Nicole. Nicole Wells Stallworth, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kara.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.